Welcome to this week's Swarf and Chips. In this week's action-packed show, we have an education feature that will have you hot under the collar. A cycle time challenge from Mr. Jones, who is at Craftsman Tools. And Colin, you'll be playing a top trumps game with BAC. Absolutely. Mark will be showing us what he calls the future of metrology, and there is loads more. Stay tuned, don't go anywhere. So, gents, have you had a good week?
Yeah, great, thanks, Lindsay.
Very good week, thank you.
Yeah, where have you been?
I have had a good week as well. Don't worry about those two, Lindsay.
Why have you had it? It's the Colin show this week, I think. What have you been up to
I've just been out about loads of videos. Yeah. Relaxing in the heat, shorts on.
I know, the weather's nice and you look like a Boy Scout.
Well, to be honest, I've got a bad leg. I nearly turned up in shorts, but I thought that's not appropriate at all.
Oh, okay. Okay then. Right.
Just saying. Just saying.
Okay. So let's kickstart with Colin. You're meant to be an oracle now in the casting process. What's
Orifice,
this
did you say?
Oh my goodness! Right. In the casting process.
I went down to see my friend Tim Allen from MJ Allen.
Yeah.
Been going for 60 years. They've got their own voice, a machine shop with their own foundry. In Tim's words, watch and learn. Oh,
okay. And also, this video I think is brilliant. It's like a how it's made. It's really informative. Yep. One to watch. Enjoy.
So Tim, this is a raw product.
Yeah, well, this is part of it. We essentially have two raw materials coming into the foundry. We have sand and we have metal. This is a scrap steel that we use in our mix, and the other material is pig iron. So we combine the pig iron and steel in a set recipe to produce the iron that we need.
So next stage in the process, you call it moulding posh sandcastles?
Yes, posh sandcastles, yeah. So this is the type of sand that we actually use. Looks a bit like the sand on a beach, but it's actually a graded silica sand. And that sand is mixed in this machine here with a couple of chemicals to make it sticky. So you can see now that sand will hold a shape. That sand is then rammed into the wooden moulds, the wooden patterns that are produced to make solid sand pieces. So what we're actually doing is making a 3D jigsaw puzzle of sand pieces that are then put together to create our mould. So we have a bottom half of mould here, the core that's placed inside, so this will give the interior definition of the casting. Just behind you is where the top part of the box is. That will be brought over, dropped over the bottom half, sealed up, and then the metal will be flooded into the cavity to create the casting.
In the background, it's getting a bit hot here. What's going on here?
Yeah, so in the background, we're pouring our iron into the moulds. In this particular instance, it's an SG iron, so we've modified the iron by pouring the liquid iron over magnesium. That reacts with the iron, it changes the shape of the graphite from flake to nodular. That means the iron is ductile, it can bend. And we're taking that molten iron down the shop in ladles and tipping it into the mould.
Okay. Quite a big ladle there.
It's a big ladle, yeah. That ladle's holding about 2 tons of iron.
And what temperature is that as they're pouring?
The iron, they're pouring it around 1350, 1370, something like that, centigrade.
Right, so that's in there, in the mould. How long to cool?
We'll leave that for about 24 hours, maybe slightly longer. It's in a sand mould, so it's a great insulator, so it allows the iron to cool down slowly. That avoids things like stresses and hard spots. So we'll let the iron cool down. We'll take it out at around below 200 degrees and knock it out of the sand mould.
Okay, so knock it out of the sand mould and it's all done, the casting is there?
Not quite. After it comes out, we've then got to shot blast it, take off any of the sand that's stuck to the surface. Then we've got to take away the delivery metal of the metal into the mould. So the runners and the risers, the sprues, they're all cut off. You grind back those areas and then it goes to the machine shop.
See, I told you it was informative. So what are the benefits then of having a machine shop and a foundry at the same time?
They've got the foundry to make castings straight over to the machine shop, so if there are any problems, which there aren't, they could just scrap it, take out the middleman. And their experience, they've been going 60 years.
Okay, it says a lot.
That's what I like about it. If I was a subcontract machine shop and I was giving castings, you could scrap, there might be an inclusion or an air hole in the component. It could be the last operations. You've added all that value. I still want paying, it's not my fault.
Yeah.
But whereas those guys, it's what's the word I'm looking for? They do everything, don't they? So
one-stop shop.
Exactly. You give them a drawing. Well. Exactly that. You give them a drawing. They make a pattern. They make a mould. And like Colin says, they celebrate their 60th anniversary next year, so they know what they're doing.
Definitely.
I thought this was a really interesting video. I learned a lot. Now, there's one question I have. I was talking, similar to what you were talking about there, Joe, but in regards to air rolls. Now, how do they actually check for this, Colin? I'll be honest, I don't know how they check, but it's just their experience. They've been going 60 years. They know what they're doing. They've got the tried and tested techniques. You know, starting, well, the whole video, you can see what they do from the start to the beginning. It doesn't happen. It happens very rarely. Tim, you'll clarify that for me rightly as well.
I was going to say, you can get in touch with them.
No, exactly.
And I know they work with some of the, we probably can't mention them, but they work with some of the world's biggest car manufacturers. So
Ford Transit, they do gearboxes.
Okay,
so
we
they can mention
it.
Yeah.
Hope so.
There you go. Oh.
Yeah.
Okay, guys, let's talk cycle time challenge now, because Paul, okay, as you can see, he's not with us today.
Great, isn't it?
Yeah, we've had a good day today, haven't we?
You guys. But he sent in a brilliant video for you to get involved in, and it's all about this very impressive part on a Matsuura.
Cycle Time Challenge.
Craftsman Tools. Now, they are a supplier and a producer of tooling and fixturing and much more. Recently just acquired this MAM 7235V 5-axis multi-pallet machining centre from Matsuura. Fred, this is your first venture into 5-axis machining. Why did the company purchase this machine?
Well, we needed to meet the demands of the tool hours. We was growing in the methods we were manufacturing. We couldn't produce them quick enough, hit the lead times the customers requiring, and we found that this machine probably suits our purpose.
This was your first pallet machine, wasn't it? And also first 5-axis machine. So you jumped in with both feet.
Yeah, we've got a pallet machine upstairs, but it's our first 5-axis machine, which is a massive learning curve for us.
And how has that learning curve gone for viewers of Swarf and Chips that are thinking, do I go into 5-axis machining or do I not? For you, has it been easy?
Well, I had reservations to start. I thought it was going to be a nightmare, but to be fair, it's actually a lot easier than we've actually anticipated it would be.
Okay, now we're into educating engineers as to the benefits of this type of technology. Let's look at this part here behind us. So you've got, now this is the pallet area. This is where you load the parts. How were you doing this before? Because it was done in more ops.
In previous operations, we would manufacture the base detail first, and then we would actually mount that block to a fixture on the vertical milling machine, and then we would machine what we call the chap toe feature, which is this face. Then it'd go on another fixture to machine the top end. So there's quite a lot involved.
So how many processes were in? What's the number of operations before?
Number of operations was 5 operations previously.
And now you're simply down to machining the base, putting it on the fixture and doing, and then you've got to do the top as well.
We've got 3 operations. We've got the pre-op, and then we've got the actual manufacture of the part, and then take away the sacrifice piece.
Okay, right, this is a bit of a challenge for the viewers. It used to be done in 3 hours and 47 minutes, doing the initial or the original processes. How fast do you think this is now machined? It's cast iron. Some of the cuts that they're doing on this material, obviously with it being cast iron, are quite tricky, but they are removing 67mm as well at one point. How long do you think it now takes to machine this part? This is me, over and out, Craftsman Tools.
Oh,
Toughie.
It is a toughie. Well, don't forget, you two can always get involved. Please put your guesses in the comments box below. However, no pressure, but come on. Colin first.
Well, it's previously 3 hours 47, so I'm going to err on the side of caution, 3 hours 46.
Huge saving, Colin.
2 hours.
Okay. 2 hours.
I'm going for, difficult to say, depends on that. I don't know that if that capto feature, the tolerance on that, but I'm going to go with 18 minutes.
Ooh.
What?
Yeah, I'm going to go 18 minutes.
Blimey.
So, egg on my face probably next week.
Yeah?
Yeah.
I'm tending to go down Joe's route, really. I think that they're doing it all in one hit now. Cast iron's quite soft. Not really sure about the tolerances they're looking to hold, but I'd say around the 25 minutes.
Ooh.
Depends on the strategy, doesn't it? If you're doing the old school waterline machine, it could be as much as an hour. But I would say that new machine, new process, I would think.
Taking the leap to
yeah, sub 20
5-axis
minutes.
and everything.
So you're saying I'm massively wrong then?
No, it could be.
No, Swarf and Chips, goodie bag.
We could be massively wrong.
Yeah, that's true. Well, don't forget, you too can have a guess and you can win a Swarf and Chips goodie bag. But regardless who wins, these parts all need inspecting. And Mark has been to visit Granger and Worrell, where he's talking about the Handy Scan. Really interesting video, this one. And it's the latest in part measurement from Measurement Solutions.
I'm at Granger and Worrell in Bridge North. Now, these guys are very, very big into castings, but also big into the motorsport side. Now, I'm here with Andy from Measurement Solutions, who's recently supplied them a Creaform Handy Scan. Now, a lot of companies use CMMs to actually measure their products. However, this is something a little bit different. Andy, tell me a little bit more about the Handy Scan.
Hi Mark, well yes, this is the Handy Scan from Creaform. This is the Handy Scan 700. It's the only true metrology grade portable 3D scanner on the market. It uses lasers which are emitted from the centre here and cameras, and you can see on the part we have the target positions as well, so we actually know that we can get a very accurate scan from this particular scanner.
So a lot of companies like Granger and Worrell will probably bring their products into the inspection room. Are you saying that you can actually take the Handy Scan to the product?
Of course, yeah. What we do is, as you can see, it's just a scanner such as this. It connects to a laptop, can run off a battery, and what you'll do is you'll just take it onto the shop floor, into any other building or to a customer's site. And because it's actually constantly tracking where these target points are, it's using triangulation to work out its position, which means any vibrations on the shop floor are taken into consideration and means we can be accurate in any position we are.
Now, when I visit a lot of companies in their inspection rooms, there's a certain temperature that they like to be. Now, how does the Handy Scan get across that if it's on the shop floor?
Yeah, good question, Mark. Actually, what we can do with the Handy Scan is we can calibrate it at the temperature we're working to, anywhere between 5 and 40 degrees. So we calibrate it and then we know that we're going to be accurate, we have true accuracy at that temperature.
And do you think that from an inspection and metrology point of view, this is the future?
I do, yes. I do believe it's the future. CMMs still have their place, so it's all down to the tolerances on the component. But then again, what this does, it helps reduce bottlenecks, whereas CMM, of course, takes a lot more time to program. You can quickly get a scan from an accurate system such as this.
So to sum up, any engineers that are watching Swarf and Chips, would you say what are the real benefits of the Handy Scan?
The benefits are true accuracy, so you're calibrating at the temperature you're working in, portability, and very, very fast.
Well, there you go, guys. The future of inspection and measurement.
Thanks, Mark. Now, before I quiz you all on this, just so you know, Colin's got a little bit of an announcement to make. An announcement to make later on in the show, and you do a little bit of a tour of Metaltech, don't you?
I certainly do.
Yes. So, okay, inspection equipment.
Yeah, I like this, I must admit. And it's not a company I know a lot about, to be honest, Creaform. I had to have a quick look. They were formed in 2002, but actually sold their first Handy Scan 2005.
Okay.
Yeah.
Technology's been
so
around
it's like
a while.
13 years. And it's only, I see a lot of these now, but if I go back 10 years, I didn't, that's for sure. So obviously year on year, this technology is getting better. But yeah, I think it's brilliant. Is it the future?
Big statement though, replacing CMMs?
I don't think it ever will, in truth. I don't think you'll ever get the accuracy of that you will on the CMM for certain applications. Having said that, it does take temperature into consideration. But for me, the best thing is the portability. You haven't got to take a component away from the, its machining environment. You've either got to use that, or obviously you can use measurement arms. But that could, is it going to replace a measurement arm? I don't know. But to me, it's great. You're obviously getting some sort of point cloud there, and you're measuring it so quick.
For me as well, what I'm taking from this is reverse engineering is a big point that everyone's touching on. So if you're looking to create a program from a 3D structure, say for example, if you 3D printed a structure, you could use this piece of equipment then to create a program, and I think this where, for me, it really comes into its own.
Absolutely. If you can get some sort of IGES file or similar file, you can do anything with it, can't you? Put it into your CAM software.
I mean, how difficult would it be to...
Go on then.
No, that was it.
But to conclude, I think that's a fabulous product, and it does have a place for sure.
Definitely.
It's very clever.
Okay, so the next video features you, Colin. It's very funny, and this time is a game of top trumps with BAC, the manufacturers of the BAC Mono supercar.
Guys, dropped into Subcon 2018, great show. Just seen a really fantastic presentation. Neil Briggs from BAC, very quickly. BAC?
Briggs Automotive Company, with the manufacturer of the Mono supercar. It's the first and only road legal supercar in the world.
So basically my next car. Now, we were lucky enough to interview Wing Commander Andy Green, who sort of pilot stroke drives a Bloodhound. I did play top trumps with him, and I almost beat him in my nifty little sports car. I did treat myself recently, so 0 to 60 I can do it in about 5.9 seconds.
We're 2.7.
Okay, fair enough then. What about brake horsepower? I've got about 200.
We're 305.
Rubbish. Okay, top speed, and I haven't done this on a public road, only on an airfield. I've got to 153.
170.
Rubbish. My quest continues to out-chump someone with my little sports car. Thank you very much for that, and we'll look forward to test drive later.
Keep trying.
I might get a yes one day. Back to you guys.
Colin, you're not funny. You're not funny.
Do you know what, Colin, I like it. Do you know, I was pleasantly surprised when he said top trumps. I'm expecting waist size, inside leg measurements.
I'd beat him on those. But I played top trumps with Wing Commander Andy Green, pilots of Bloodhound. I thought, what next? Where do I go? The BAC Mono, great sports car, supercar. I don't have £250,000 in my back pocket, unfortunately.
Is that what they cost? I was going to ask you that.
Yeah. But he said I could have a test drive, didn't you, Neil? I asked about 5 times.
What's that?
Every time, yeah.
Tumbleweed, isn't it?
Yeah, I think so.
But no, you see, I haven't met the guy. We've actually been invited to go up in November. They seem good guys. But it's obviously Liverpool, true British supercar manufacturer. So yeah, it'd be good. Looking forward to it.
Yeah, very
Definitely.
interesting. And you've been trumped yet again.
Yeah.
Gutted.
It's not difficult though, is
Gutted.
it? Anyway, well guys, we're running out of time, so let's take a look at another tour or video of Colin. It's
Another
the
one.
Colin
It's all about
show.
me.
It is. At
See, it doesn't
Metaltech.
work.
Bring back Paul.
Guys, there you go, Swarford chips, what can I say? Now today, it's a big 5-0. No, not my age of cheeky so-and-sos. It's actually how many machines they've got. We are at Metaltech Precision down in Somerset. It's been a long old journey, to be quite honest with you. I've already been ambushed, whatever you want to call it, by a squad of squirrels, a plague of squirrels. Anyway, they're nasty little critters, but this machine shop is fantastic. You've got your Mazak over here, sorry Chris, we missed them, the Integrex, fantastic machine, B-axis, they absolutely love it. Really ploughing through. This billet here, for example, not too tricky component, but Inconel, they have no issue with that, ploughing through that all day, every day. Great machine. You then got some more Mazaks here. Now these ones have got the full B-axis, that's why they like those, so they give them real flexibility on the parts. So you get a theme here, love a bit of Mazak, and guess what? They've actually got 6 of these, a Mazak Smooth Quick Turn 250 MY. Quick, simple to program. These are specifically used for smaller batch runs, but the reason they do that is the controls, nice, simple setup, that's it, they crack on with the job, they're off and running. Now, Chris, I'm not trying to lose you, but you're going to have to speed up, mate, come on. It's the same every time we do these walk-rounds. See, look, huge place, really impressive. So, that's a bit of sort of fixed head action. We've got some sliding head action going on here. So, we've got some Citizens there, some of the older ones, but Andy from Metaltech absolutely loves them. You've got your Doosan Puma ST20G. Now, as Andy says, this is a bit of a hybrid between, he said, the fixed head and the sliding head. Loves it, absolutely loves the machine. And then we've got some more here. We've got the Stars going on and Citizen L20, if I'm correct, LFV. We've mentioned that technology before, essentially PET Control PPC. This is the next stage on in terms of that technology. Now, let's whiz through here. In fact, talking about this one, we did talk Swedish Chef. No, not Swedish Chef, Swedish Iron. I've not heard of it before. It's a real difficult material. That machine ploughed through it. So really impressive stuff all around there. Now next, look at that. I think we're getting a theme here. They also like their Doosons, Pumas, Lynxes, the fixed head sort of area of the machine shop. Flexible, fast, that's what they want, and reliable. That's what they want from these machines. And anybody who's a salesman might want to be tapping on the shoulder because I think they're in the market for another one, but don't quote me on that. And look, another Mazak. Now this one, just here, fully automated system. It's not quite running at the moment, but will run 24/7. The Multiplex 6200 Mark II. Love that machine. Plows through work all day, every day, fully automated. And then, guys, look, some more mills machines. Absolutely love them. Vertical boring, 5-axis machines, things like that. Now this one here, another Puma, the VT1100M. Now look at that, look at the size of these components here. Absolutely huge. And even though it says VT1100M, I heard a rumour they've done part diameters up to 1200, so some big parts. Really impressive. Come on, Chris, keep up, mate. It's not as fit as me, these youngsters, I tell you. Now look at this. Changing colour. Now, not only do the machines parts, paint them, shot blast them, fabricate them. So here, they have got a really old machine. It's just milling the end, but I've got to hold these parts. So we start with a young one. maybe end with an old one here. Look at this. Now, if you've been in the industry a while, trying not to break it, I can't turn it around, sorry guys. Look at that for set controls. Heidenhain, you've moved on a bit since this was first out and about. Great, still going strong now, like any good machine. Still holding tolerances, absolutely love it. That is a showcase of Metaltech precision down in Somerset. I'm heading back. It will take me 3 or 4 hours, depending on whether I get ambushed by the sort of local wildlife fauna. Those squirrels, I've got you coming, mate, don't you worry.
Colin, you look a little bit smooth and sweaty on that video.
Just how you like me, Lindsay.
Oh,
Sorry.
This
But
is live.
because A, it was a really hot day, B, I'd been ambushed by a squad of squirrels, and C, that was a huge, huge machine shop. I took advantage, as in walking around. It was just fantastic. They got Mazaks, Doosan's, Citizens, Star, to name but a few.
You were
Fabrication, machine shop.
Well, I wonder,
brilliant place.
Colin, did you give the squirrel your nuts? What?
Again, it's like a belt and then a level and then you guys.
So you've just got a dirty mind.
Moving
That's
on.
what I meant.
Just to explain a bit more about
I'm a
Metaltech, though, if you don't
hazelnut.
mind.
We went down to see them because they needed a solution for a certain part they've been making for about 20 years. Citizen gave them a solution with their new LFE technology. But while we were there, we had to have a look around because it was just amazing, doing all sorts of different components. So, yeah, milling, 5-axis milling, turning.
Any specific
side-head,
industries that they're working with?
all sorts.
Oh, everything.
Rail, what I reviewed was a rail, but yeah, all sorts.
Oh, what?
Whale, that's what I said. Yeah.
A whale.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They're multiple, they've got so much capacity here, haven't they? And they've got multiple different types and makes of machines, which I found quite interesting.
It's almost like 3 factories, isn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah, well, I thought it's not unique. You know, I don't think they're doing anything unique. But what I like, they're doing everything that from like a 1mm pin or whatever, right up to this massive prismatic forging.
Oh.
So you know, and they've got fabrication thrown in as well. There's not a lot they can't do. It's not a company I knew. I'll be honest with you. It's not a company I'd ever come across before.
Well, it's down Chard in Somerset, so it's miles away.
Yeah, I don't like driving. You see,
Oh,
that's why I've never.
It was an
come across
interesting
them.
drive down there, country lanes and all sorts. But yeah,
You got
great.
there?
I got there and got
You
back,
got-
despite
Yeah.
squirrels.
Despite the squirrels. You've got a really exciting announcement,
I've got
haven't you?
another video. Guess what? Another video. It's not just proves who does all the work. Can I just say?
But this is a little bit out of space.
Oh, that's dreadful.
Oh.
Lindsay. We went to Farnborough Air
Cheap
Show.
tragedy.
I managed to clobber Chris Lamore from Orbex, who was setting up their space launch pad in Scotland.
We're at Farnborough Air Show 2018. We've dropped in to see Orbex and Chris, the CEO, is that correct?
That's right, yep. Good afternoon. Hi, Colin.
Now, thanks for letting us on here because you've been absolutely inundated with people, you know, BBC, Channel 4, Channel 5, MTD, what can I say? Tell me what you do.
We're building space rockets, literally building space rockets for launch from the United Kingdom. We're building them all in-house, all our own engineering, using advanced materials, metals, carbon fibre.
Okay, so where's your first site going to be?
The launch site that we announced this week with funding from the UK government is in Sutherland in the north coast of Scotland.
Okay. We have to get that right because I got it wrong there. I do apologise.
I did too, and I shouldn't. Yeah.
Now, I'm going to throw a few figures at you though. First of all, 30 million.
Yeah, 30 million is what we announced this week in funding, £30 million, about $40 million. That's a big funding round for us to start making strong progress towards building the launchers, opening a new factory in Scotland. It's our second factory, and start building bigger structures and more engines and avionics in Scotland.
I think it's just a great example of innovation and inspiration in the UK. So, in terms of rockets themselves, they're more efficient than rockets that we see at the moment?
Yeah, they are. We're using a new fuel to space like propane. People will know it from camping gas and home heating LPG. It's standard LPG. We purify it, we chill it, and it's got a very interesting property. It doesn't freeze when you bring it down to liquid oxygen temperatures. That allows us to build a lighter vehicle that's more efficient, about 20% more efficient than anyone else out there.
Okay. Faster, or does it need to be faster or anything like that?
It's the same speed. You need although it's a smaller rocket that we're building, it's got a micro launcher. It needs to be the same speed as a large launcher to achieve orbital velocity, and it needs to be guided with the same level of precision to get it to the right place in orbit at the right time.
Okay. Now, sending the rockets into space, you're launching satellites. Now, small, micro and nano, is that right?
That's correct, and they're literally the size they sound like. Nano is tiny, a few hundred grams. Small satellites, CubeSats, are a kilo to 10 kilos approximately, and then our largest satellite would be about 100, 150 kilograms, and that could do an awful lot though in this day's market.
Say straight away, I think in nano, you're putting something into space the size of an iPhone, and other phones are available. How is that going to work though?
Well, they're tiny, but they're quite. You can think of them like smartphones in space. Actually, they're very capable nowadays. All of that miniaturization that's gone over the past decades, that's gone into smartphones. Satellites can be built like that nowadays too. Their lifetimes are designed to be, months, even days in some cases. They don't have to survive very long in space. They'll fall back into the atmosphere and burn up. And they're designed to be sort of semi-disposable, actually.
Right. So a good business model for you guys.
For us, it's great. Yeah, and we get to replenish the more commercial operators will want to replenish those satellites and have constantly launching more upgraded, new software, new hardware over time. So for us, it's good.
Yeah, no, absolutely fantastic. It's a great example of innovation in the UK. We're really, really looking forward to the project going forward. And it's just to clarify, first launch date?
It'll be during 2021, but I'll be honest, the space launch industry has a dismal record of getting the launch date right, so I'm sure I'll join that dismal record at some point, and I'm not going to be any closer to that than a year at this point.
No problem at all. We won't hold you to it, Chris. Thank you ever so much.
So, this is amazing. They're launching rockets from Scotland.
Yep.
Why?
Not yet. They
Not
will
yet,
be.
but they
Why?
will be.
Because it's great innovation for the UK. It's an income earner. I think they quoted 3.6 billion in income they estimate from this project. They've just got, and the news was, it's been set up in Sutherland in Scotland. Make sure I get this right. 30 million grants in investment, so it's going to bring jobs to the area as well. It is 30% more efficient and 20% lighter. I hope I got those the right way around. So it's just a great example.
Forgive me for not understanding, but why do we need this technology?
Because satellites in space, we need data all the time. Look, you've got your phone, your iPad.
Yeah.
In fact, Lindsay, you're a great example. How are you getting home tonight? Sat nav? Well,
no, but my car.
Yeah, sat nav.
Okay, if I had a sat nav in there.
You need the satellites. More people. We need more data. Satellites.
It sounds like you're going to buy one, Colin.
Yeah.
Or are you on the waiting list?
No, I've invested in it. I'm the first pilot.
Yeah,
a pound.
First pilot. Yeah.
The UK.
I like the idea. Sorry, Jim. The micro size of an iPhone. Size of an iPhone up in space.
So powerful.
Everything's been shrunk down.
But I guess you think of an iPhone. What can't you do on an iPhone? And imagine these guys are going to trump an iPhone, aren't they? They're going to have a lot more connectivity and data and what have you.
Brilliant.
I mean, for me, UK Space Agency, I think it's awesome. I think that we've been visiting lots of engineering companies for over many years, and there's very few that say that they do work for space. So to create this new work in the UK is brilliant, absolutely brilliant.
Yeah, again, is that then may have an impact with Brexit and everything, with new jobs, new work, more technology. We've got to make things, manufacturing.
I think it's
the more stuff we can make here, the better.
It's brilliant. I think everyone's becoming more patriotic since Brexit, and everyone's teaming together, wanting to do things in the UK more. And I think we're going to become more successful due to that.
Yeah, I just really believe that this is breaking news. That this is huge.
Fascinating.
It's brilliant.
So has anyone got anything else to say before the end of the
Yeah, I've got a question for Colin. You say 2022 the launch. So if you're still employed, hopefully you are you going to be on the launch? Are you going to be the test pilot?
You see my pilot.
The Andy Green of the space world?
Yeah, absolutely.
And I must say, I also saw this on television.
You did, that's right. Sky, BBC, ITV. But Chris said I was the best interviewer of the day. Thanks, Chris.
And the first interview of the day.
Okay, please put your guesses for the Cycle Time Challenge in the comments box below. Don't forget to like, comment and subscribe. If you want to watch any previous episodes, click on the links here on Colin's face almost. And as we always say, keep those spindles turning.